Hey guys, Eric Louviere here. I just wanted to go ahead and cover a technique that I've been using that I think works really well for me, and I'll try to dissect it a little bit, give you the anatomy of how this technique works and kind of where it came from. And most of my demographics are over the age of 40 for the people that I go after, and sell high ticket offers and services. And so if your demographics are the same, which I bet they are if you're watching this video, then this could be really monumental for you to get higher conversions. So basically, I came up with this with a client on a client call, really a coaching call, and this guy pitches from stage, and that's really how he gets his clients is he speaks all over the place, and then he pitches from stage, and they buy his stuff. So his demographics were the same as mine, and as we were discussing strategies for him, this is where it kind of came up with where it came from. So people who are affluent are who he targets and who I target, and maybe who you target watching this video. But these people are just like me. They're probably like you. They're affluent. They have this burning nuclear reactor going on inside them. They're this flame, this burning drive that they have to succeed. So it just comes from the inside. It's part of their soul. They're highly productive people. They take a lot of action. They seem to be in some kind of race, right? I mean, do you feel like you're in a race? Like there's a countdown clock, right? That's kind of how I've always felt. And so I think if you target a similar type of clientele, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you're watching this video, there's a pretty good chance this is how you are. This slide is talking about you, just like it's talking about me. And my market mirrors me, just like your market probably mirrors you. If you don't like your market, then you got to change you. And change. Anyway, that's a whole other video. So people who strive to climb that ladder, those achievers, those people who are after something, go-getters. The clock is running down. They got to go and get it. That's what I'm talking about, right? So when I hit my 40s, I'm now 46 at the time of recording this beautiful video. I felt like that countdown clock was sped up. Like it was like tick, 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 tick. Like it just started really speeding up on me. And, the months are going by faster. The years are going by faster. My grays are showing up quicker. You know what I'm saying? Like things are changing around here. So I don't know if you feel the same way. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, then I'm certain you do. So for me, that's what happened. And I know that for most of my clients, it's the same thing. There's a countdown clock, and it is speeding up as the years tick by. And also for me, it's a very real thing because I've lost both of my parents now. So, for me, it's real. It's real. Like I'm like, oh, damn, I'm next, right? So it's a real thing for me. And so I think that countdown clock is important. So therefore, this technique is to first get your client to understand time and how precious it is, how truly precious time is, and how much dynasty building time is actually left for them. So for you, I know you're ambitious, or you wouldn't be watching this video. How much time do you have left, right? When you start thinking about that from that perspective, how much time? Is there a countdown clock? How much time you got left to build a dynasty? How much time do you have left to achieve what it is you want to achieve before you, get a golf cart and a fishing boat and call it a day and retire, right? So I use myself to tie this down with my prospects. And this is kind of how I do it. It's almost the exact type of words I try to say here. And I do this to see if they'll open up, but I say, Ricky, I'm 46 years old. Both of my parents are gone. So I feel I have about 2 decades left, maybe 3, of hustle to see how much I can achieve before it's retirement time, where I'm a full-time golf and fishing player. So maybe you feel the same way. And I just kind of pause for a second to see if they open up about it, and most of the time they do. If they don't, then maybe I say something else. But really, I want them to get to where they understand the power of time. So they say, oh, Eric, yeah, I'm in the same boat you are. Man, maybe I got even less time than that because I think I'm older than you, right, or something like that. They say it in a lot of different ways, or they're just like, yeah, however they respond. I want to tie that down and get them to respond favorably and really get them to own it and understand and drive that home that, time is precious. Now, I don't go on and on about this. In the course of a phone call, it's like boom, 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 and we've moved on, right? So it's just it's just an anchor, it's just a little anchor that I slapped down there, and it's not like we're going to drivel on about this like I'm doing right now with you, but on the course of a conversation, it's real quick. I say a couple things, they say something, and then we move on from there. So the prospect could say, "Oh, Eric, yeah, I'm in the same boat you are. I got even less time than you are. I'm about 10 years older than you are." So I told them I was 46, and they say something like that, and then I'll be like, So what do you think? You got like a decade or two left before you want to, buy a fishing boat, and kind of slow down the whole dynasty building thing. And this is just my way of tying it down even more, really driving it home. So see what they say there. So that's really trying to get them to understand that they only have maybe 10 or 20 years or 30 years, depending on their age, of true grinding, hustling, building a dynasty, and achieving. Usually that's how it works in life. That doesn't mean you can't work, and build and grind and grow and achieve till you're 100 years old. I'm not saying that, but it's a way to tie down at least a concept of what's likely to be, only a couple more decades left of hustling like this. So my first aim here is just to get them to see time, and more importantly, a decade of time. Okay, that's what I want them to do. And what about you, watching this video right now, me talking to you right now? How many decades of decade building do you have? I mean, dynasty building do you have left, do you think? Answer that to yourself. So do you feel that? Like, do you feel like that countdown clock? Do you feel like this is a real thing? Have I driven it home for you, yourself? And you're thinking, damn, I only got like 2 decades left. I got like 5 years left, or whatever you're thinking on your end. You see how that works? It brings it to the surface, right? So, well, most of my clients have no clue about internet marketing. They don't know anything about copywriting or traffic generation or leads or appointments or sales funnels or conversions or sales formulas or, email promotions or any of that kind of stuff. They have zero clue, most of them. Same with your clients. So I'm sure your clients don't have any clue about what it is you're masterful at, is what I'm saying. And so therefore, I explained to them how long I've been at this, 12 years in internet marketing full time, and, earning millions, and advertising, the advertising industry even longer, more than 20 years. So that's 2 decades of, being all up into the guts of this, right? And that's how long I've learned all kinds of lessons, and it's a lifetime of built up strategies and methods and insights and information and breakthroughs, and learning breakthroughs 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times before it finally sinks in. Okay, so that's a big deal, and however you can reveal that to your client is huge, because the anchor here is a decade, and my twist here is that my service that I provide them, my offer, can save you a decade of time, can save you a decade of mistakes, can save you a decade of struggle, and actually help you propel a decade worth of achievement. What's that worth to you? What is a decade worth to you? So whenever you present that to your clients with whatever it is that you do, you're masterful at, your superpower, then now that you have tied it down already earlier in the conversations, just how important that decade is and how fast that countdown clock is ticking down, and then you hit them with that your offer and your service can provide them with a decade-saving amount of value, what is that worth to you? Then they can truly see the value that you provide. So I told one prospect yesterday, I remember when I got that same breakthrough about 4 to 5 years ago. Good thing, though, that you got that breakthrough, because it's all uphill from here. Now, what does the client or the prospect hear? Well, they don't hear me being egotistical. They hear that I learned that 4 or 5 years ago, so they're 4 or 5 years behind me on just that one breakthrough. You see, so you can save them learning curve time, you could save them struggles, you could save them banging their heads against the wall. But the real power here is to tie it down to how important that decade is, how important is how little time is left, how precious time actually is, and how frustrating struggle is, and how much of a shortcut you could provide for them. So there are a lot of different things I say in the course of a conversation with a prospect that ties into time, but I keep bringing them to that time into it and anchoring it to success. Okay, and it's a countdown clock. So my advice to you is, if you want to take this further, sit down and think about 10 ways your offer saves your clients a decade at a time. Then use those 10 elements that you come up with always and often. Then they feel like they have to do this, that you have this offer. They got to take this offer now or else. They got to take your offer now or else, because the countdown clock is ticking. You have these 10 elements that you came up with here that saves them a decade of time. You hammer on that, you touch on that in the conversation or in the sales process, and what happens is they see your product, your value, your service as intrinsic value, where they see it as priceless. And then they see it as something they got to do now instead of putting it off. Because how many of your prospects want to just put you off? It's an urgency play, right? It's an urgency thing. So when you tie it to time, then they start to really realize pretty quickly time is running out on them. The clock is clicking down on them. And so this is of grave importance. So God bless. This is Eric Louviere. Thanks for watching the video. Go forth and use this.